We are back. This is what I'm excited about. Today, we're going to talk about decisiveness, being decisive. And we're going to use the Marine Corps principles. I don't want you tuning me out because you're like, military industrial complex, blah, blah, blah. And I'd said this before. I'll say this every time. There's no better organization out there that produces leaders than the Marine Corps. Look at what they have to do. They have to take an 18-year-old punk like me when I was in, and they give you millions of dollars worth of equipment. They put you in a battlefield, and they expect you to perform. And for the most part, they do an amazing job. So being able to have a process and a system in place that allows people that are not even halfway, I mean, no one would hire them. Would you hire an 18-year-old without a resume and then put them in charge of millions and millions of dollars worth of your equipment? And then have people shooting at them and expect for them to perform well? Okay. So let's look at decisiveness. Definition: ability to make decisions promptly and to announce them in a clear, forceful manner. Now, this is the Marine Corps, so we're going to use the word forceful, which some people won't like, but this is very important when you're on the battlefield and there's bullets flying around you. You've got to wake people up and be like, hey, we're going here. We're going to do this. This is how it is. Yeah, look at my eyes. Ability to make decisions promptly. And we all know this. When you don't make a decision, you are making a decision. Some of you have issues with decisiveness in the sense of you have a really hard time making a decision. You need to be self-aware enough to ask yourself why. Why do I have a hard time making a decision, especially when there's stress or pressure put on me? For some of you, it may be as simple as you're out of practice. Like you need to be put into stressful situations on purpose so that you can make these decisions on the fly. And then it's like a muscle. As you get used to doing it, it becomes very, very simple. Making a decision is not as critical as you think it is. It's the execution of the decision of who you delegated it to, and then the follow through. That's what's important. So you may say, hey, here's what we're going to do. Here's how it's going to go. Here's what we've done. I took all your guys' input because we're decentralized leadership. I took all your guys' input, put it all together. Here's where it's at. Here's what we're going to do. How are we going to accomplish this, guys? Here's the vision. Here we are. It's you and your team are going to make this decision together, one. And number two, they're going to execute it. All you have to do is coach each of the people along in your team to make sure that the jobs are getting done. And they and you, if you're on it, are going to start seeing situations that arise that the decision may not have been the greatest decision, and you've got to pivot. Pivoting is really, really important. The decision, you think a decision is set in stone like a tombstone. Like, here's the decision. The decision has been put into the grave, and I've got to rely on this. No, you can pivot on any decision at any time. Adaptation is important. Look at us. Look at evolution. That's what it thrives on. The decision you make gets you to the next step, and you may adapt that next step, and it may not look like that decision. It's going to morph. So you have to understand that making decisions promptly, and then you're going to make another one. You're going to make another one. You're going to make another one. Your team's going to call an audible on this. Then you're going to move along. Then that decision may be 180 degrees from what you first initiated, but you've got to get the ball rolling. That's all that is. You're just taking the ball and you're throwing it into the team. You're the point guard. You've got the ball. You're on the other side of the line. You're starting the play. That's what you're doing when you make a decision. You throw the ball to the other guard, small forward, whatever, and then they take it from there, and then you're in the mix. That's what decisiveness is. The significance. Here's what the Marine Corps says. Significance. The quality of character which guides a person to accumulate all available facts in a circumstance, weigh the facts, and choose and announce an alternative which seems best. It is often better than a decision to be made promptly than a potentially better one be made at the expense of more time. Time is your enemy. When it comes to make a decision, get the ball on the court. Just don't stand there. If you stand there, the ref's going to blow a whistle at you for just holding the ball. Make a prompt decision. You can review it in 24 hours. See how it's going. Have a meeting. You can pull your team together anytime and see how things are going. That's the importance of this. The quality of character which guides a person. Notice that this has to do with your character. Which guides a person to accumulate all available facts in a circumstance. So now you've had the circumstance. You've gathered all the facts. Who do you get the facts from? The people that are on the front lines. Your employees. Not you assuming or guessing or sitting in a boardroom and you talking to other people that have no idea what's going on. I hate that. That's one of my pet peeves. I'll go and people will have all these facts and figures and things drawn up, and that's the first question I'll ask. I was like, where'd you get this data from? First question. Well, we had a consulting firm and blah, 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 and this and that. And, we've came up with, so these are a bunch of biases of people that don't know what the hell's going on the front lines. You've gotten this data from third-party people. You've got a data that's assuming things, passive-aggressive data from social media surveys or whatever the hell it is. Why not go to the employees, take the time, give them a freaking gift card, and sit them down and have a conversation with them? I need you to be honest with me on here. There's no right or wrong answer. You're anonymous. We're not putting you on any of this. Your name does not go on any of this. Nothing is recorded. Nothing. We're giving you $25 Starbucks gift card to answer these questions. This will really help us make decisions for the future of this company. And so I need you to be really honest, even if it appears negative, because it's not negative, because it's something that we can fix. You do 10, 15, 20 employees, and then you find 5 or 6 or 7 things wrong that's on the front lines. You fix 2 or 3 of them. You've changed the work environment tremendously. What's your ROI then? We have to stop relying on all this third-party data because we're not willing to have a conversation with the zero and first-party data by having communication with the people that are on the ground. Those are who you talk to. That's how we do it in the Marine Corps. I'm not going to go run and talk to the general quick and see what's going on if I'm platoon sergeant. I'm going to talk to my platoon. And I'm going to talk to those that's gone and crawled up and looked at the front lines and know exactly where the machine gun turret is. Decisiveness. You get all the available facts together. You get them together like a detective. Put them all together. You weigh the facts and choose and announce an alternative which seems best. And they say it is often better that a decision be made promptly than a potentially better one be made at the expense of more time. Make decisions promptly. Call audibles. Pivot. It's really, really simple. Here's an example. A leader who sees a potentially dangerous situation developing immediately takes action to prevent injury from occurring. This is so important. Risk assessment. Make risk assessments. Okay. We know this month we're 22% down in sales. Well, what's the reason? So let's have conversations with the salespeople. Let's see. Let's not blame them. Let's not give them I am so sick and tired of new programs. Everybody's trying to pitch you a program, and then you turn around and think that program's going to give you the heroin shot. And yes, I said that, the heroin shot in your arm that's going to all of a sudden make you have, and then all you do is jump from program to program to program, and your salespeople think that you're schizophrenic because they're just trying to have conversations with customers. What's not allowing them to do that? Is people not picking up the phone? Is there not emails? Is it Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year? What's fucking them up? That's what you need to ask. And you need to go to the front lines to get that information. I think this is so important when we look at decisiveness, because when shit hits the fan, I especially noticed this a couple years ago when we saw the pandemic hit. Such poor leadership on all sides. And we're seeing that come out now. The truth is coming out on everything. Republican, Democrat, medical, whatever it may be, it didn't matter. People had no decisiveness. They were so afraid to make a decision. And so what happens is you pander. So you begin to pander for answers. And those answers are going to come from selfish interests. And those selfish interests are going to turn around, and what are they going to do? Pad their pockets. This happens all the time. And you've seen this. If I go and talk to my competition about what they think I should do, that's just setting myself up for sabotage. You have to understand you're the leader. Be decisive. Practice. If you're having trouble making a decision, make the decision and then start having team meetings and get feedback and change it. You can change things all the time. It's just steps. Like I said, just picture a point guard holding a ball and he's fixing to throw the ball into the guard to start the play. That's all you're doing when you make a decision, is starting a play. It's that simple.
Thank you for joining us on the Albuquerque Business Podcast. And thanks to our sponsor, RigbyDigital.com. Make sure to subscribe and share. And go to abqpodcast.com. Get show notes, resources, and links to everything we talked about today to help you navigate your journey as an entrepreneur and business owner.